and hoping to be the same for future. So today's agenda is we are going to discuss about strings. Most of the contents today which we are going to cover will be only about strings. Okay, so we'll see what are strings, how it can be dealt in Python using Python syntax. We shall try to traverse inside the strings. Okay, we shall go inside the string one by one, reading each character by character or group of characters, and see how it can be done. And we shall try to slice the string. We shall try to group or cluster the characters into string 1 or string 2, something like that. And we shall see how we can use looping and counting technique which we have studied in our previous classes. That is a definite loop. Even we can also use while loop here. Okay, we shall see those syntaxes, how we can use the looping and how we can use counting. Because if you want to count how many characters are there in the string, how many similar characters are there in the string, and so on, right? We can count those characters, those appearances, those frequency of characters appearing inside the string. We shall see the in operator, how it can be used in order to compare the string. Okay, we'll see how it can be used efficiently in string comparison. We have several built-in functions or methods in Python library. We shall use those methods on a particular string and see what would be the output, how the strings are modified from one format to another format, and we shall also see the format operators. Okay, percentile D, percentile S, percentile G, which you have studied, percentile F, which you have studied in your previous programming languages. We shall use those format operators here. Why? Because it is also a string, so it can be used in between the string. The format operators can be used between the string while printing the statement and so on. We shall see the use of format operators too. And lastly, we shall also look for some portion of a string. Say for example, here I am using a string called welcome to Python application programming class. So if I am very much particular about a word called class, correct? A word called class. And if I am looking for that word called class inside this string, so it becomes a portion of a string. So we will use some parsing operations, some parsing strings operations to look for a particular portion or some portion of a string. Okay. How many of you are from A section here? Can somebody unmute and just respond? How many of you are from A section? None of you? I had shared a link with the A section students also because Pushpalata madam was not well and she was unable to take the class, so I was just waiting for A section students to join the class. Just let me wait for them since I've already shared. 1 second. Okay, do I have students from A section? Hemant?
No, sir.
Huh.
Sir, you made your meeting private, sir. We can't join until our requests are approved.
No, it was not a private meeting. 1 second, I'll just check. Then how did you join?
Sir, my friend called me, so I can't join, sir.
They're very similar to you. Others can also join, right?
Yes, sir. Individually, I need to call 60 members, sir.
Very good. Don't do that. So let me just check with the settings and okay, I think I've cleared that issue. So now I hope it is possible for them to join. Yeah. Otherwise, the meeting, any of this session will be recorded, and we shall share the video maybe after this session. I will come back to the topic about the strings. I think now they are able to join.
Yes, sir. I'll check it.
Okay, fine. Yeah, they are coming. Yeah. Yeah. There was a small interruption. Okay, guys. So, can anybody define what is a string? Yes, can anybody say, define what is a string? Is the classwork visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, define me what is the string.
Set of characters.
Okay, string is a sequence. Sequence of characters. How do you define a string in a Python? So I can define a string in a Python. Say fruit is a variable. Fruit is a variable. And I can define a string in single quotes. Understand? I can define a string in single quotes. I can say a fruit called banana. And how do you access the characters in the string? I can see what is a fruit now, a variable called fruit. I can see the variable called fruit is a banana. The solution, the answer is a banana. Now, how could I access the characters inside the string? I can access the character or a letter by its index. By its index using the bracket operator. I can use the bracket operator like this, and I can say letter is equal to fruit of 1. Okay, fruit of 1, and say if you print this letter, you could see what is the answer. Can anybody tell what is the answer? If I print this letter, what letter of this fruit banana would appear as the result?
A.
A. Okay, you need to understand here the index of an offset from the beginning of the string, and the offset of the first letter is 0. Here the offset is 0 in Python, but the 1, fruit of 1, the index 1 refers to A. Okay, so if I want to print the first character, so that should start from 0. The index of the offset always is 0 in Python, and remember this. So in some other languages, we need to initiate. If you want to read the characters inside the string, say in C, we will initiate it as I is equal to 1. In MATLAB, it is by default, it is 1, the offset or the index. Okay. So now I could print the letter B by using this index. So here one thing you need to know is offset or the index is 0. Okay, by default. So how to get the length of a string? So we can use the function called len of the fruit, and you can calculate the length of the given string. So how do you calculate the length of the given string? You can use the built-in function that returns the number of characters inside the string. Correct? It returns the number of characters inside the string. So now if I, so how many characters are there? 6 characters are there. Suppose if I say length is equal to length of fruit, okay, and then say print length. So I would get the length is 6. But what if I try to print fruit of length? What is the answer? What if I try to print fruit of length? that is fruit of 6. What is the answer? What is the result if I try to run this program? So length was 6. So fruit of 6. It refers to the 6th character of this string. Whereas B is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th character is not there, right? So what is the answer? So what will you get? It will throw an exception. It will throw an exception saying, boss, whatever the index that you're looking is out of range. So the fruit of length, which you're looking, fruit of 6, see here, string index out of range. So it will throw an exception saying that fruit of 6 is not present. That means the character of 6, fruit of 6 is not present. So how do I want to print the last character? How do I print the last character, that is A, in the string? So simply say length of -1. Okay, length of -1 would give you the last character of the string. Say if I have replaced this by S, so you'll get S. You just remove length and simply say -1, you get the same result. So index of -1 gives you the same result of length of the string -1 is same as -1 using the index -1. That means it always gives the last character. Okay, it always gives the last character of the string. Correct? Or else -1. What happens if I say length of -2? Length of -2 gives me the last but one. -3 gives me the last but 2. Okay, so can I use these strings in order to calculate or in order to verify whether the given character or given word is a palindrome or not? I can use these indexes. I can use this small bit of program in order to find whether a given string or given word is a palindrome. That means however you pronounce from left to right or right to left, it remains to the same. Okay, we call it as a palindrome. A group of characters reading right to left or left to right, it appears to be the same characters. So I've shared a piece of code on your group, WhatsApp group, whether how you can use this indexes to verify whether the given characters or whether the given word is a palindromic. Okay, so now let us just go to traversal. How do you traverse through a string with a loop? So as we are familiar with a while loop, okay, we shall see how the while loop can be used in order to go inside the string and to fetch the individual characters. So there are a lot of computations involved processing a string, one character at a time. It requires huge amount of computation. Often they start at the beginning, select each character in turn so that I'll do something on that character and then continue until the end. So what I do, I'll just try to create a variable called index because I should have a control on that while loop. So whenever index reaches 0, I will just say kindly exit. So now I use this while loop while. So let me just write it, blow up the screen so that some of you might be using your mobile phone. So here while index is less than len of fruit. Okay, so what is the length of fruit? Length of fruit is 6. So what is less than length of fruit means less than 6. So while index is less than length of fruit, what I do, letter is equal to fruit of index, right? Fruit of index, and then I'll print that letter. Print print letter, and I have to do what? I have to increment the index, because I have to control, I have to halt, otherwise it will be an infinite loop. And I say index is equal to index plus 1. If I run this program, so just understand, I have just initiated a variable, index is equal to 0, then I'll increment it here inside the loop. Index is 0 at the first iteration, 0 less than length of fruit, yeah, it's true. So letter is equal to fruit of 0, it is B, print letter, that is print B in the first iteration, and likewise it iterates till this condition becomes false, and this condition will become false when you read the 6th iteration. When you are at the 6th iteration, the index will be 6. So 6 is not less than 6, so this will be false. If I run this, you could see the characters of the string BANANS. Okay. Also, I can use for loop. This is the way how we have used while loop to traverse inside string. Okay. So I can use for loop. For loop is very simple. So I can use what a for loop to traverse inside the string. Both does the same thing. I'll use for. I'll initiate a variable then and there, char, in for cat in fruit colon print char. It's very simple. It gives the same result, but you need to understand what is char here. Char is, can anybody tell what is char here? Char is a variable, user defined variable, and it is an iterative variable. It iterates. It is an iterative variable. It iterates inside the loop. So in the first iteration, it is the first character of the string. Again, what is fruit here? What is fruit? What is fruit here? Fruit, again, it's a variable. Correct? Again, it's a variable, user defined variable with a string as a data type. With a string as a data type. Guys, any doubt? Just let me know if you are not following what I'm trying to say. Or else I have to split this here. I should call another fruit here. Okay, let me just, since these are case sensitive, let me just go with the small characters always. So now, if I try to execute this loop, you could see like I have a different fruit here, and for char in fruit. So if I use this for loop, every time it is an individual character in the given string. In the given string. Okay. So now if I want to say or slice the string, hope you understand this. Yeah, I need some response. Guys, did you understand?
Yes, sir.
The difference between for and while loop. So you can use these kind of loops in order to do some comparison. Suppose if I say how many times A has appeared. Of course, all characters here are unique in this fruit. So there are no frequencies here. M, A, N, G, O, E, S. All are different characters. So it's of no use calculating me how many times M has appeared, how many times A has appeared, and so on. So if I try to replace this by some other fruit, say banana, now I could count how many times A has appeared here. So I can read individual characters every time, and I can do this kind of operation. If char equal to string A, okay, equal to string A, if the character which is read in each iteration is equal to A, I would increment the count called count is equal to count plus 1 and say print count. Okay, I can say this print count, how many times A has appeared. I'll put it outside the for loop. Here I have to introduce a variable called count is equal to 0. Now you run this program, you could see print how many times the character A has repeated. You can try to do these kind of operations when you are trying to use for loop, or how many times B has used, or how many times AN has used. Okay, 0. How many times N has been used? 2. Okay, so likewise you could try always to check how many the frequency of characters, frequency of individual letters which has been appearing. So you call it as a counting loop. Okay, so this is an example for a counting loop. Let us just try to restrict ourselves to a for loop here. Okay, and then we shall take up the next issue, that is a string slicing. So if you want to remove, or if you want to segment a portion of a string, you call it as a slice. Suppose I have a string called S is equal to, string are always represented in single quote, Monty underscore space Python. Suppose if I have a string called Monty space Python, now I could slice a string, understand, I could slice a string using the indexes. Okay, using the index. So how? I will use S inside the bracket 0 to 5, 0 to 5. See here, this is how I will represent in order to slice the characters from 0, that is M, 1 to 0, 1, oh sorry, 0, 1, 2 is N, 3 is T, 4 is Y, 5 is space. So see here, if I just try to put this print of S inside the square bracket, this is the index which I've used 0 to 5, it will print only Monty, that is Monty. Why? Because the operator returns the part of the string from the 0th character to the 5th character, but it includes the first but excludes the last. Understand, it excludes the last. Okay, is the classwork visible now? It went to the first cell, the previous cells. Is it visible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So it excludes the 5th character. Suppose if I want to write Monty underscore Python. So according to this character, so underscore is the 5th character, S of 5. So it excludes. See here, it excludes this underscore. Okay. So now, what do you mean by 0 is to 5? 0 is to 5 means it includes M, that is a 0th character, but excludes the space. Space is given by the empty string. It excludes the space. For your understanding, let me put this underscore here and I will say it excludes underscore, the 5th character. Okay. Now, what if I want to, okay, let me make the same print statement here and remove this and say, what if I want to read from 6th character, that is, if I want to print the Python, you should priorly know how many characters are there, then only you can come out with this index values, 6 to 12. And again, it excludes the 12th, S of 12 is, there is no character with 12th index, so it excludes 12. So it will be from 6, that is P, to 11, that is N. Okay. So now suppose if you try to omit the first index before the colon, if you try to omit the first index, let me take this example again. If you try to omit the first index, see if I try to omit this 0, so what happens? You see I get the same result. Why? Because it assumes the slice goes till the fifth string or the fifth character with all the values prior to that. Okay, it goes from the operator will include the slice which starts at the beginning of the string. Okay, from the beginning, colon means from the beginning till the fifth character, Similarly, if I try to omit the second index, the slice go to the end of the string. Suppose if I use the same string and say if I put this colon here, now I could see from the fifth to the end. It's just like all from the beginning till 5. Here from 5 till the end. Generally, I could say colon represents all characters. If you're using before 5, all characters till 5. Here, colon represents all again. But here it has been used after 5. That means all characters after 5 till the end. Okay. Suppose if both the characters say like this, okay, if I have the same characters like this, so let me just see what happens. So there are no values. There are no values between the indexes 3:3. Okay, so there are some values between 1:3 or 1. These two characters has been fetched. So this is about strings, string slicing. So now there is a concept called mutable, okay, mutable and immutable. Understand, mutable and immutable. What do you mean by mutable? Mutable means one which can be modified, one which can be changed. Okay, but here the strings are immutable. One which cannot be changed are immutable. So strings are an immutable objects. The object in this case is the string, and the item is the character that you try to assign. For now, an object is the same thing as a value which cannot be changed. Okay, suppose if I try to greet you people, say hello class. Okay, now I have two words which has been separated by a space, hello class, right? Now if I say greet of 0, greet of 0, what is greet of 0? Let me just see, print and see. What is greet of 0? Greet of 0 is H. Okay. Now, suppose if I try to assign a value called greet of 0 to some other character called J. This is a direct assignment of a character or a value to some object. So what is greet of 0? Greet of 0 is an object here. Greet of 0 is term to H. And now if I am trying to replace this H by J, so it is not allowed. See here, string is an object and it does not support any assignment to any of the characters inside the string. That is why the strings are immutable. You cannot change the character values because it is an object. But still, you are intended to replace that character. It can be done, okay, by creating the new string. I can create the new string. If this is not possible, I can create a new greet is equal to, I will use this J, I'll concatenate this plus, okay, greet, okay, greet, what I need to do, 1, I'll start with 1, I'll concatenate the string with the J, okay, I'll concatenate the string with the J plus greet of 1 to all. From 1 means ELNOCLASS will be sliced from the greet, and a new greet will be created which concatenates J with this string which has been sliced. Now you say print new underscore greet. I think you'll have the new string which is created. So here, if you want to still modify the string, since it is immutable, you have to create the new strings. New strings with the concatenation operator to get a desired string. Okay, new strings will be created with the plus operator to get desired strings. Correct? Why? Because strings are immutable. Just I'll share this classwork later after this module so that you can just go through and uncomment and see what happens with this syntaxes or commands, and then try to use this comment and uncomment sessions. Okay. Now, looping and counting. As I've already said, how do I use for looping and counting? Here I have a small program which counts the number of letters, the same program I have just copied and pasted. Unexpected indentation. Okay, there might be an, since I've copied the program.
Sir, indentation for it should start with.
Yeah, got it. Good. So now you could see how many times A has appeared. It has appeared 3 times. Okay. So the program just illustrates another pattern of counter computation. The variable count is initialized to 0 here, and then incremented whenever you find A. Always there is a habit of giving like this, if letter equal to A. If you say like this, so it will be a variable. It will be looking for some value. So it should be a string inside a single quote. Okay. So if letter equal to A, so the result, the total number of A's will be printed. Now, can I try to define my own function, which, see here, be careful. So I want to define my own function, okay, which takes 2 input arguments, which takes string, which takes a string as an input, and the character to be counted, okay, the character to be counted as another input. Is it okay? And give me how many characters were there inside, how many characters were present inside the function, in the string. So I would define a function called say count underscore char of what it will take. It will take 2 inputs. One is a string, the second one is a character. This is how I define. Maybe in exam you might get, say for example, use or define a function, user defined function with XYZ, which takes 2 input arguments, string and characters, and gives the number of or the frequency of a character. Now I'll write the same program here. I'll use the same program. Okay. Or I'll say return count. Both are same. Now I'll run this program. I should define what? I should call the function with its name, count underscore char. Now inside the bracket, I will use the string followed by a character. Followed by character. See, A is not defined. Even I did the same mistake. Now you could see the same result 3 has been obtained. I can simply use the function. I can say B how many times. See the reusability of the same function now. Okay. Again, I am getting 3. Why? Can anybody tell? Why am I getting 3? Hello? Because I have not changed any of these variables for char in strind. If char equal to. Oh, again I am getting the same answer. So what is the problem here? Just can anybody tell?
Sir, because in that if loop you have given A, it works only when the character is A.
Okay. So what I need to do? So I will just replace this by letter in string. Now if I say if letter, okay, if letter equal to what? char. Is it okay now? Can you see now? So now user is interested how many times B has appeared in this string. See here, char is the user interested character which is looking for the frequency of that letter inside the given string. So there should be a small modifications inside your functions for letter in string. Okay. Now I am trying to compare letter which has been given. It fetches the letter at each iteration and it compares with the character char. This is the input argument where the user has given. Okay. So likewise, I can find for n. Now you could see the reusability of the functions. Okay. So I can simply say modify the given input characters and this function will work. Whereas I have to go back to this program, to this loop and change it to n. Then I will get 2. Then again go back to this program and change it to b. Okay. If I try to create the function, if I try to create a function and then say, okay, this is a function and then say just what is the character and what I am looking for. So it would simply give me the count of a particular character inside a string. Okay, so now let us just try to see what is the in operator. In operator is a Boolean operator, okay, that takes 2 strings before and after. See here, that takes 2 strings. I have in operator, it takes 2 strings. What are those 2 strings? The input string, I am looking for A, and the another string in what? And the result is a Boolean value. True if the first appears as a substring in the second. So if this appears to be in this second string, so it says true. If I just try to look for the complete another value, so it is false. If I look for an, So it says true. Why? Because I have an somewhere here in between. Okay. If I say an, so it is again true. If I say an, it says false. Okay. If I say an, so again it says true. Why? Because it is a part of a string. Okay. So it's a part of a string. So it compares. So it should be like okay with any part of the string. It says true. So will be used in future. I'll show like how this can be used in comparisons. So now string comparison. The comparison operator also works. See here, if I have a word is equal to say Python, word is equal to Python, and if word equal to Python, say if word equal to Python, print, yeah, it's a programming language. Okay. Print is not defined. What happened to this? What is an error here? Can anybody tell? Everything it looks fine for me.
In print capital.
Is capital.
Good. So if word equal to Python, print programming language. So you can also always compare the string using equal to operator. You can also try to compare lesser than, equal, greater than, and so on. You can also use lesser than or greater than functions and see how it works. There are different types of methods. Okay, there are different types of methods, inbuilt functions in Python, which can be directly applied on strings using dot notations. Suppose if I say, if I call some string, say greet, I'll use greet is equal to hello Python. So now I could see what is the type of this variable. Just say type comma greet, it is a string. Now if I say dir, that is directory, okay, dir of greet, I could see n number of methods. You see how many n number of methods, inbuilt methods. So is space, is title, is upper, join. There's so many. Starts with, strip, swap case, title, uppercase, right? So I will try to use couple of them. If I say, you can also use help, guys. You can also use help. If you want to see help of what happens if I use if I want to use say str dot capitalize. What if I want to use str dot capitalize? You could see. So this is a method descriptor. Capitalize, return a capitalized version of s. That is, make the first character have uppercase and the rest lowercase. So it will capitalize the string. So can I use that str, like here I have used greet. What is that greet here? Greet already was in H capital. So let me redefine the string. Greet with the small letter, all small caps. small letters, and then if I say greet, use dot notation. Okay, dot CAPITALIZE. So what should be the output? What should be the output?
Greet in capital letters.
Greet in
Hello world
capital.
in capital letters.
Correct. H is in caps. So here it makes the first character, only the first character have an uppercase and the remaining lowercase. Likewise, we can try. There are many such. The only thing is you need to understand, like, okay, these things will not understand the underscore. This we shall deal with this operators later. You can start using or try to analyze this. Find, format, is a L number, is alpha, is decimal digit. Depends upon a type of string which you are using. Here you have lower and you have upper also. Upper is upper. So let us just try to use couple of them. Let me just define a word called I'll just try to use upper now. So if I say greet dot upper, so all characters will be converted to the capital letters. Okay, all caps. Suppose if so a method is called the invocation. So you have to use dot notation. So if I want to see the index, see here, I'll just go with the same example. Word is equal to, and now if I want to find the index, so I would say word dot find. See here, word dot find is what? Dot find is a function, inbuilt function, and now I am trying to use an input argument called a. And if I run this program, you say word dot find a. So this input argument, the character, is found at the first index. You can use this as an index now. See here, index is equal to word dot find dot a and say print index. I can use this index in future. You see, it's one and the same. Suppose if I want to find an, see again it is an here. The an it starts from the index 1. Okay. Suppose if I want to reverse this, na, the index starts from 2. See here, na, it appears to be at the second index 0, 1, 2 of banana, right? So find is used to give the index, remember. So I can use find method to get the index of some character. This will be very useful in future, guys. Remember this. Dot find. str dot find. So this is a syntax. And you should give one input argument. There is one input argument. So this is the general syntax. str dot find argument 1. If no input, it will identify it as a null, or if it will identify as a space. If no input. Okay. So again, if I want to use another example, I will create a line which has got some space. Okay, then say here we go. This is an example of a textbook. See, you have some spaces. Here I had some space, and here after some words, again I have some space. So if I see print line, you could see the spaces. See here, there is some space here. And there is also some space here. I can say print line before applying some method here. And now I say line dot strip. So if I use line dot strip, what is the new line? You could see the print. The new line. after strip function or after strip command, okay, you could see the new line. Before you had, one second, so it has to, I should say the new line, new underscore line is equal to, and new underscore line, okay, and then you could see here. Otherwise, I'll not print this at all, because you should understand what is happening, because it will strip the additional spaces. See here, it will strip the additional spaces here. Since I was using some of the print statements, so it was not clear for you. Now you can see the line strip. What does it do? It basically remove the white spaces, tabs or new lines from the beginning and the end of a string if you have used it. Sometimes I have so many lines in some data. Line is equal to, suppose I've said have a nice day. Okay, have a nice day. Now if I want to check whether the line starts with line dot starts with, understand, line dot starts with what character? If you are very much keen into the line which starts with have or h, okay, line that starts with h, it says true. So dot starts with verifies with the character which is given as an input argument with the string whether it starts with. Here line is an input string directly applied, starts with. Suppose if I say small h, since it is case sensitive, it says false. And now if I say HAVE, again it is true. Correct? Since it is case sensitive, so you should be careful, like what are you looking for actually. So line that starts with HAVE. Correct? So I can use this dot starts with in order to verify whether the character or characters is the beginning of that string. Okay, and it returns the Boolean values. Remember, this returns the Boolean value. You can use this if line starts with, okay, is true. Okay, if true, what do you want to do, right? So you just have some statements here. Statements one, the body of the loop. Okay, if that line starts with head, say a person is trying to greet to someone, or say some have a nice day. Okay, something like that. It can be used for a conditional executions in future. Correct? So in the next class, we shall see how do we parse strings and format operator. These were the two things which are left out due to the delay in the start of this class. So we shall see parsing strings. Okay, how do we look for a portion or a part of the string which we are interested for? Okay, so that can be learned, or that we can see in the next class. Okay guys, so thank you for attending this class. I hope you have understood the strings, the concepts of strings, the while loop, for loop, counting loop, and how we can slice the string, the index of the string, the methods inside the string. And there's so many methods. Okay, one cannot familiarize with all the methods, but at least as per the syllabus, some familiar, some popular methods has been used for the performance of to calculate something, to use something for in future, to create some program with some specific task. So only those methods will get acquainted, and other methods, if you are interested, you just learn, put dir of str, so that will give you all the methods. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you for attending this session. So take care, stay safe, stay home. And yes, I have given an assignment to B section students. Kindly complete it by the deadline. Yeah.
How to upload on Sims? Like how to
Yeah,
upload?
that is a problem. In fact, when I uploaded, then there was that situation which has arisen. You do one thing. I will. You just keep your answers ready on a PDF or on a Word document or on a scanned copy of a PDF with your USN. Okay. I will tell you where to upload. If it's not getting uploaded in the Sims, we'll provide you an alternate email ID so that you can upload it later, or you can upload it here on the Teams only. So that I will tell you. I'll decide and I'll let you know. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just keep your answers ready in a PDF file with your USN, name, USN and everything inside the PDF, and as file name can be saved as usn.pdf. And keep it ready. I'll let you know later. Okay? Yeah, thank you.